Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be giving my predictions for week 10 Premier League fixtures. And what a set of week 9 fixtures we just had, which were amazing. We saw Arsenal literally destroy Aston Villa at home. Who would have saw that coming, because people were thinking Arsenal were probably going to lose to the better side, Aston Villa. We had other amazing performances, like Mason Mount scoring his first hat-trick in his Chelsea career. We saw Phil Foden have an amazing performance against Brighton, 2 goals and 1 assist. And even Ramsdale had a great performance against Aston Villa. It looks like the young English players are really stepping up, and they might make the season their own this year. But going into week 10 fixtures, let's just hope for more of the same, more dramas, more thrill, and more entertainment. And it's set for a mouth-watering set of fixtures. We got Manchester United versus Tottenham. And remember the last time these two faced at Old Trafford, when Man United got absolutely destroyed 6-1. Other fixtures, Leicester versus Arsenal. So let's just hope for more goals, more thrills, like I said. But before going this video, you know I'm going to say, make sure you guys like, comment, and hit that big subscribe button right there. And make sure you guys in the comment section give me your own predictions for week 10 Premier League fixtures. So the first game I'm going to be predicting is Spurs versus Manchester United. And undoubtedly, this is the biggest game of the weekend. However, both teams are in dire form. Spurs losing in the Conference League and losing to their arch nemesis West Ham in the London derby, where they haven't won there in the last 4 games. Manchester United are not in much better form, losing 4-2 to Leicester and getting destroyed at Old Trafford by their arch nemesis Liverpool 5-0. Both managers are in dire need of a win, or otherwise they may be getting sacked potentially suddenly in the next game or so. However, let me just start off with Manchester United. An absolutely shameful, diabolical, embarrassing, humiliating display against Liverpool at Old Trafford, getting absolutely battered 5-0. No one, no manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, no player in that side should literally hold their head up high. Every single one of them was a complete, utter disgrace to Manchester United Football Club. How are you getting destroyed at 5-0? There's ways of losing football games. Yes, I knew Liverpool the superior side. Yes, I thought Liverpool were going to win 3-1, but at least for Manchester United, we're going to put up a fight. Manchester United let this performance happen, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was absolutely diabolical in his tactics. What did he think, man? The half-hearted pressing against Liverpool, we saw that in the first goal. Greenwood wasn't tight enough to Robertson, and then Wan-Bissaka didn't get close to the other Liverpool player, so literally led to the first goal, and that set the tone for the whole game. Even losing the ball in the midfield so many times. Liverpool's clinicalness in the final third was absolutely extraordinary, don't get me wrong, but you can't be giving Liverpool chance after chance. But not only did Manchester United get humiliated, it honestly feels like it's worse than that. It feels like some of the players have emotionally checked out. They're thinking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not the man. The way they've lost their heads, the way they lost their temper. Pogba, 2-footed tackle. Ronaldo kicking Curtis Jones. They were out of control. But they're not going to want to think like this. They're going to want to win their next game against Tottenham, who aren't in better form themselves. So Manchester United in that facet should be at least happy they ain't facing Man City. But going to Tottenham, like I said, losing in midweek in the Conference League, losing to West Ham. They're not in much form better themselves, man. And honestly, I was giving Højbjerg and Skip maybe too much credit, because yes, defensively they're solid and sound, but they don't have that deep line midfielder to make the penetrating passes into Ndombele straight away. It just feels like they rely on him too much, driving the ball, creating space for Kane to make those runs in behind. Spurs need to play better as a unit, as a team, to actually get the best out of their squad, and it's clear as day that Nuno Santos doesn't know how to do that, because he's more of a defensive minded coach. But in terms of this game, my score predictions, literally is a coin toss. I don't really know myself. This is the first time I've been so shocked, because both teams are in such bad form. I don't know which team I should give the credit to think that they're going to actually win the game. I feel that Manchester United must go on the front foot, because the Man United fans are not going to allow you to park the bus and play counter-attacking football. It's negative football, and especially when you're in dire need of confidence, you should just forget about it and just go on the attack. Manchester United defence have conceded 11 goals in their last 3 games, so even playing defensive football isn't going to work in this moment of time. And I feel this may play into Tottenham's hands, because we know Nuno likes playing counter-attacking football, so maybe play more defensive minded with Skip or Højbjerg. These are the sort of games they'll be suited to, and play Kane and Son and have that space in behind with them, with Lucas Moura as well. However, like I said before, I don't feel like Spurs play cohesive enough as a unit to take advantage over Manchester United's weaknesses. So going into this game, I honestly think it's going to be a score draw. I'm going to be predicting a 1-1 draw. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Liverpool versus Brighton. And stylistically, I feel like this has the potential to be the best Premier League game all weekend. I know I said this last weekend with Man City and Brighton, but potentially Liverpool play even more electrifying football than Man City. And Graham Potter, like Pep Guardiola said in his last few games or so, is probably England's best manager, and it's only a matter of time before we see him get a big move to another club. He plays attractive football, entertaining football, on the front foot, high press, and we even saw that in moments against Man City in the second half where it was spectacular to watch. However, this just played into Man City's hands. They kept losing the ball in the midfield, which was reckless, and because of Man City's clinical nature, they were able to take advantage of this and score 4 goals to win the game. I was shocked that Potter didn't start Basuma to provide that defensive security, and I feel like this was quite naive. And against Liverpool, you're going to have to do this, because we saw against Man United what Man United tried to do. They tried to play them through the midfield, and they kept losing the ball. Against Liverpool, it's going to be the same old story like against Man City. Potter need to wise up, and if that means subbing Lallana or another attacking midfielder like Trossard to play Basuma, you must do it, because you might get humiliated like Manchester United did if you're going to give that many chances to Liverpool. But even if Brighton do this, I'm not giving them a great chance to win this game. Liverpool have literally just beat Atletico Madrid away, scoring 3 goals, beat Manchester United away, scoring 5 goals, and I feel like Liverpool are going to continue their dominance display. Especially beating a rival club by that many goals, the confidence is going to be sky high, out of the roof. So in this game, I feel like Brighton will put up a fight, but it's not going to be good enough. They'll leave themselves exposed. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 victory for Liverpool at Anfield. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Leicester versus Arsenal, man. And what another mouth-watering game we just going to have this weekend. It's going to be an amazing game. We've got 2 good sides, 2 very good sides. Maybe Leicester the better side. But we saw last year, like I said earlier, a 3-1 victory for Arsenal at the King Power Stadium. So let's just hope for more goals like this game we saw last season. But going into this game, Arsenal are absolutely flying. They literally destroyed Aston Villa at home, and people were shocked because in the first 10 to 15 minutes, Arsenal were on a riot. They were literally giving Aston Villa defenders no space to breathe. The pressing, the energy, the intensity was there, and this is what Arsenal fans want to see on a consistent basis. But we saw some great individual performances. We saw Smith Rowe set alight the game as well. We saw him literally carrying the ball into dangerous areas. I feel like he's one of the best ball carriers in the Premier League. I feel like Lacazette was the man of the match. Although Arsenal played the prototypical 4-4-2, he kept dropping off into that number 10 role. And although he didn't play that typical number 10, creating chances, threading the ball into the eye of the needle, I feel like he was a battering ram. He provided steel. He was defensively solid. I feel like he gave those Aston Villa midfielders a very, very hard time to play against. Obviously, Ramsdale's distribution was excellent. Tavares down that left back row, up and down, showing great energy, tremendous speed, providing that attacking flair. But it doesn't matter. I can label out every single player who had a good game, because I feel like every player was tremendous. But that doesn't even matter, because we saw this against Tottenham. They won 3-0 or 3-1 convincingly, and then going into the next game against Brighton, they struggled and they were nowhere near the same side. Arsenal fans don't really care if you do it on a one-game basis. They want to see you do it on a consistent basis. That's all that matters, because winning 1 then losing 2 is just 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But going into the game against Leicester, it'll be interesting to see what Arteta does, because we know he switched it up. He went back to Lacazette and Aubameyang, a prototypical 2 players up front. But obviously it's going to be a lot different versus a way, way better side compared to Aston Villa, Leicester City, who are at home and who are going to have the wholeness to take the game to Arsenal. Should Arsenal revert from back to this and play either Aubameyang or Lacazette, because that will provide them more defensive stability, providing another defensive-minded midfielder? Or should they go gun-ho, play both of them, insert their dominance into this game and say to Leicester, I don't care if it's your stadium, we're coming to dominate the game and have the majority of the ball. But in my opinion, I think he needs to stay with the same formation, same team. Come on, if you want them to build chemistry, if you want them to build some sort of rhythm, you're going to need to start the same players so they get used to each other. Especially Aubameyang and Lacazette, who have already shown in the past at times they can form a great partnership up front. So I think Arsenal should stick with this. Go for the game, go for the win, because if you sit back and play defensively, you'll potentially have the best chance of getting a draw and not even a win. But it's going to be dangerous, because we know Leicester do have talented players who can impact the game and potentially win it. Maddison, Talisman and Vardy's great goal scoring record against Arsenal. Every time he plays them, it just feels like he's going to score a goal. And because of Arsenal's inconsistency against other sides when they win a game, I just don't see them winning. I'm not going to be fooled. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Newcastle versus Chelsea. And let me just start with Chelsea, the European champions. I know it was first place versus 20th place, but that does not undermine the fact that we should give Chelsea the credit they deserve. They absolutely battered Norwich 7-0 without a striker. And the first player I want to talk about is Mason Mount, scoring his first career hat-trick, which was absolutely phenomenal to watch. He had an excellent game, taking the match ball home, well deserved, and I feel like he's going to be instrumental because I feel like he's Chelsea's biggest threat to help them score goals this season, because we know they don't have the goal scoring midfielders that Man United and Man City have. So it's going to be important that Mason Mount does on a consistent basis step up and chip in goals which Chelsea are going to need. But what a tremendous performance. Mason Mount scoring a hat-trick like I said. TWill scoring another goal, 3 goals in 3 games. What a tremendous performance again from him. And even Hudson-Odoi, a French player who doesn't even look like he's going to be starting on a regular basis, because we know Tuchel prefers players like Havertz and Mount to play in that role. I feel like he done a tremendous job taking on his player 1v1, giving Chelsea that outlet ball with his pace in behind. But the scary thing about Chelsea is they didn't even have their starting 11. Think about it. They had players like Kante missing, Alonso missing, their 2 strikers missing, Azpilicueta missing, Christensen missing. They had none of these players playing and they still managed to destroy Norwich 7-0. But let me go into this game against Newcastle. And I feel like Newcastle aren't that much better of a side compared to Norwich. We just literally saw against Crystal Palace and we saw against Tottenham, they only picked up 1 point. And they literally had their manager sacked. They had new owners buying their club. They've had so much good news this week or two, but they still haven't managed to get any points based off a good feel factor at their club. So why should I expect them to beat the European champions when they couldn't even beat these 2 sides? Newcastle at best are a championship side with their defence. We saw their schoolboy defending against Tottenham, so I don't see them getting any better against the Chelsea side, who have shown who can score 12 goals or 11 goals in their last 2 games. Newcastle are pretty much a one-trick pony of St. Maximin. If he ain't playing well, or if the defence of the other side deal with him great, Newcastle don't really have any other threat to impact the game. So going into this game, I feel like there's only one winner. Chelsea have too much quality in their arsenal, in their disposal. So I think they're going to win comfortably. And I'm going to go for a 3-0 victory, comfortable, at St. James's Park. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Manchester City versus Crystal Palace. And let me just start off with Crystal Palace. I feel like this has a potential to be a very, very good game, especially the way Vieira has transformed the side ever since the Hudson era. I can't lie, I was one of the doubters. I was one of the critics. I didn't think he would be able to transform a side which didn't really have the personnel to be able to play out from the back, to transition the ball through the midfield and potentially do the high press and score goals from it. I didn't see this happening. I thought it was going to be an utter failure. And despite the draw against Newcastle and Arsenal, I feel like the Crystal Palace fan base should be in good spirits, good hearts, that they are actually playing entertaining football and they are a joy to watch, even getting points on the ball despite of it. It doesn't matter if you're playing attractive football if you're not winning games, but Crystal Palace have shown on a consistent basis that the results will come through no matter what. And they're doing it without their 2 most important players, one of them Wilfred Zaha and the other one Eze, who's going to be back in the next 2 or 3 months from his long-term injury. So it's showing that Vieira can do with the system, he can tinker with it, and he can still play entertaining football despite not having their 2 best players. But going into this game against Crystal Palace, I think the Crystal Palace fans would want Roy Hodgson to come back just for 1 game. Because we know Man City, we know when they come against a small side at the Etihad or a smaller side in the lower half of the table, it's a guaranteed 3 points. It doesn't matter who you're facing. So Crystal Palace do have their hands full, and I feel like the best opportunity they have really to snatch a point is if they park the bus. But they're not going to go to this. They're going to stick with their philosophy, which has been giving them so much success, which is going to give so much space for Man City to operate in and potentially score a lot of goals. But Man City are going into this game with great form, literally destroying Brighton 4-1 away from home, revenging their fixture from last year where they lost 3-2. And I feel like the standout performer has to be Phil Foden. 2 goals, 1 assist, proving that he's one of the best young players in the world. And the way he literally has been playing in that false 9 role. He's only 21 and he's shown that he has such intelligence to play at a great level already. Dropping into spaces, dragging defenders out of position, knowing when to run in behind, knowing when to be creative and thread that pass for his wingers. He's been absolutely astonishing and is showing it. The numbers are showing it. His performances are showing it. Everything is showing how great he's playing. And I feel like Crystal Palace must form a game plan to stop him. But even if they do, let's be honest, Man City got 3 to 4 other world-class midfielders who have been in great form themselves. Bernardo Silva, Jack Grealish, Gundogan coming back, Kevin De Bruyne coming off the bench. Literally, Crystal Palace have their hands full this game, and I just don't see them winning it. I don't see how they're going to stop this. So going into this game, I feel like Crystal Palace will put up a fight, a very good fight, but it's not going to be good enough because Man City are just a better side. So going into this game at the head-to-head, I'm going to give the victory to Man City. I think they're going to show a dominant display, and I think they're going to teach Crystal Palace a lesson in class. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory for Manchester City at the Etihad.